Hey, everybody, we're going to get started. Okay, we're going to get started.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, good afternoon. The time is 1:02 p.m. This is the Columbus, Ohio chapter for the American Council of the Blind of Ohio. Our August 10th meeting, we're going to get started. First one to let everybody know that this meeting is being recorded. So anything that you say will be put into the public space and public domain for public consumption. So be mindful of what you say and what you share. All right. So I want to welcome everybody to the meeting. I want to first thank everybody who came out for our summer gathering back on July 27th. I hope you all had a great time. I want to thank Mike and Julie Russell for helping to get that going for us by securing a spot. And we want to also thank the Cornerstone Deli for all the good food when we go back and see them again. So at this time, can we get the oh shoot. Yes, thank you. My mind just went blank that quick.
Well, why don't we do Zoom first?
Zoom
because
first. So go ahead, John.
Yeah, let's do Zoom first. There are slightly fewer, I believe. So we have Chuck Adkins, Kathy Withman, Katie Frederick, Michelle Spillane, Patrick Simmons, and Vicky Pran. If anyone has not already done so, make sure you activate your OK button for the meeting being recorded. If you do not do that, you will not be able to speak. Pressing F6 if you can't get to the button should get you there. If you're on a mobile device, locate the mute button at the bottom left and flick to your left a couple times and you should see the OK button. And I apologize if I am speaking haltingly, but I am hearing myself on the room speaker as well. And it's a little disorienting. So there should be all of that.
Sean's in the room as well. So is that everybody on Zoom so far?
That is everybody on Zoom so far. I will update when there are pauses.
Yes, we can do that. Lee Tucker's here. Gee, who's this that's been talking so far? Somebody's been talking so
Oh,
far.
yeah, that's me. That's Janae Miller, the president. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I was going to say my name last, but okay, yes. Go ahead, Ed. Oh, we got to take it around to Ed.
Edward Snively.
Okay.
Troy Sullivan. Shirley Roberts.
Linda Roberts, and there's a van in the parking lot with the back lift gate still open.
Sean Thiel, the version of me that's in the room. It's a little confusing here.
Yes.
Yeah, there should be count twice. It really should.
Mary Highland.
That's Mary Highland. It didn't quite come through.
Fetzko?
Resume.
That was Rachel Fetzko.
Mike Russell.
Julie Russell. Mary Lynn Pifo.
Dustin Grandstaff.
Erwin Hott.
Juanita Meyer. Mary Carabinas.
And that completes the room.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, everybody.
We have an additional in Zoom 7707. I believe that's Mark Rodegum, but if you could let me know, that'd be great. Okay, you've raised your hand. Try the *6 instead. Okay, try that again. *6 close together, please. Okay, we can keep going, and if
Okay,
that
thank you.
person could let me know. Like I said, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I think I know who it is, but I need to be sure.
Okay, thank you. Next thing on the list is, did anyone have a chance to review the last meeting minutes? Everybody have a chance to view that? Any corrections, any concerns about the last meeting minutes? Okay, hold on. I haven't asked. I'm just still waiting to make sure, just give people a chance. Anybody have any concerns or ain't nothing? If I'm hearing nothing, would someone like to make a motion?
Nothing in Zoom.
Nothing in Zoom? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion that we accept the minutes as they are? Okay, is
Lynn
there-
Roberts moves, so.
so that's Lynn Roberts that made the motion. Who would like to second it? Erwin?
Kathy Withman, second.
Sorry, Kathy. Erwin got it first.
Okay.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Okay, thank you. Now we would like to go on forward with the treasurer report from Mr. Lee Tucker.
All right, we have actually two reports here. One is for July and one's for August, and I'm going to really shorten the one in July. Let's see, so at the beginning balance was ending balance was $16,990.36, which is a decrease of $1,351.11. There weren't many expenditures. One is the insurance that we pay in case I run away to the Bahamas with all the money, but it's not nearly enough, by the way, the insurance. And we also purchased the land. Yeah, right. It's like not nearly enough. I mean, the insurance isn't, nor is the chapter funds. That's not nearly enough either. But anyway, so, and then we paid for the next 4 meeting dates at the church, of which we are currently using one, and we paid for the AT&T bill. And a number of our outstanding checks were cash, one of which was for the Short North stage. Finally, they finally actually cashed a check, and they actually found one that we sent. So anyhow, the savings account, we got our normal 16 cents per quarter, bringing it up to $6,244.32. People helping people, no activity, charge card, no activity. The Columbus Foundation, which is the source of our funds that keep us supplied with money in our budget, it was the market value of that was $91,248.43, and the people helping people benefit was $660 to the end of the June meeting. That can't be right. No, yeah, that is right. End of the June meeting. Yep. With your permission, I'll go on to the July statement, or do you want to discuss and approve June?
Any questions regarding the June financial report that Lee just gave? Any questions, any concerns? Is there anything in Zoom, Sean?
There is not.
Okay. Would someone like to please make a motion that we accept the June financial report for Lee before he moves on to the next
Actually,
month?
it's the July report.
Well, it's, oh, that was
I
July.
misspoke. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I heard June, that's what I heard. Marilyn Pipos, would someone like to second it? Yes, July, he said
Kathy.
July. Sorry.
I think
anyone like,
Kathy wants to second in Zoom.
Kathy wants to second it? Okay, so Marilyn Pipo has made a motion that we approve. Kathy Whitman wants to second it. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Lee, you can continue.
And this is for the period ending yesterday, August 9th. So for the period of July 13th through August 9th. The checking account ending balance is $16,522.25, a decrease of $468.11. There are no deposits. The expenses are always monthly payment of $16.11, which keeps the phone alive, which we are not currently updating. So that's something that we need to take care of with the committee, as somebody to go out there and update the call line. The engagement benefit, they withdrew another $100 for that. Reimbursements checks for the ACB convention were sent out, 12 checks at $45 each. And that for $540. And there were some more picnic expenses that the chapter did pay. And because Michelle Spillane bought, think coleslaw bowls and things like that. So we reimbursed her for that expense of $52.75. And we should mention that Mike Russell back in June was reimbursed for the $75 for the shelter house #1, because otherwise we would have been in the middle of the road. So there's a balance of outstanding checks and receivables, mostly of the ACB convention checks, of $277.75. And there was a check fee of $27 charged because Short North stage couldn't find a check. We did use the charge card to charge for envelopes at Staples for $35.98, and bought stamps in the amount of $73 and both of those are to support the membership drive coming up. And the payment cycle on that will occur next month. So, and the people helping people, no change. Balance is $2,357.87. Savings account, no change. $6,244.32. Columbus Foundation, through the magic of the stock market, went up. Who knows why? $93,320.46, which is a gain since December of $1,046.28. Mind you, now we've already received our payment for a spring grant from the Columbus Foundation in the amount of $5,658.47. So our fund in the Columbus Foundation is doing okay. And last year in 2023, for comparison purposes, we received in total $6,400.50 from the Columbus Foundation. There are notes that I want to include with the financial statement. How did you drift away, Mike? If we put it down here, no one can hear it. Oh, if it's here, look at that. Okay. All right. Okay. So look, this is a summary that I want to give you people so you have a good heads up about what's coming for the rest of the year. Our income for the year will be around $7,000. And so far this year, we spent $5,230 about. We've donated $3,000 to organizations, $500 to help purchase the AED. That's the device that's sitting
Medical.
on the wall
Yeah.
out here in the hall. And the engagement benefit, which I've mentioned already, is $660 so far. And the national convention support was $540, and the meeting location is $400 in total. Now the shelter house and together with Michelle, cost $130 about. And we have funds that we are authorized to spend, which is the CPR class, which will cost us around $700. And then the expenses in total for the rest of the year, which includes Zoom and the total of the AT&T phone bill, which is around $193, and other expenses, that comes out to $700 as well. So our total authorized and expended funds to date is $6,630. So we have upcoming expenditures the chapter is not committed to, but we kind of heard about. And we'll probably discuss those later. The Fall Fest, the state convention, and the Christmas dinner. And in round numbers, the total of all checking accounts, savings accounts, et cetera, is $25,000. Investment total is $91,000.
Any questions for Lee regarding this next portion of his financial report? Any questions, any concerns, any thoughts?
Denise has joined on Zoom. And again, I still do not know who the phone number ending in 7707 is. If you could please *6 and let me know. I believe I have an idea, but I want to get it correct. Thank you.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion to approve this part of Lee's financial report?
Okay.
Hi. Is that Mark?
Yeah, that's Mark there, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll rename you.
Okay, good, for future reference there, okay.
Okay. I was asking, does someone like to make a motion to approve this next portion of Lee's financial report?
Kathy Whitman, so approved.
Okay, hold on, Kathy. Who was that said that in the room?
Mary Carabinos.
Okay, Mary Carabino seconded. Kathy, made the motion. Kathy Whitman will let you second it. Okay?
Okay,
All in
Alright.
favor, please say aye.
Hi.
aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Okay, the motion has carried. I will make a comment that Lee and I, based on previous discussions, we are going to the bank on Tuesday the 13th to sit down with Huntington to talk about what options we have for moving some of the money into a CD, as we previously discussed. So I want to make sure that the membership knows we are moving on. We are taking care of that as requested. Okay. Next is the committee reports. Denise is here. Lee or Denise, want to talk about these PHP, People Helping People?
I'm on and I'm in and I'm here and I'm speaking. And so we have an application that arrived in the mail written. So I did type it up to send to the members. I typed it up today to send to members because it just arrived yesterday. And Lee and I will be meeting at the Northern Lions Club, and that will be this Wednesday, the 14th. And we will be speaking about people helping people at that meeting.
Okay. Do you want to also talk about the CPR class in that next week?
It's actually a first aid class.
First aid.
And
Okay.
yeah. CPR was last year, first aid this year. And the class is on Saturday, the 17th of August. It's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's at the CPR Schoolhouse on Schrock Road. If somebody feels so moved to take the class that hasn't said so, you can sign up that day, but you need to let us know in advance.
Okay. Do you have the address to the CPR?
I gave as much as is on the top of my head. CPR School.
I will look it up
Provide the
because
basic
I
enough.
flagged the information. I'll look it up.
I'll just
Got
ask
it
him
here
just so it
somewhere
can
in
be
the
on.
paper. Give me
Oh.
a minute.
Let Lee look for. I was just only asking Denise just so we can have it on the recording.
Yeah.
If you couldn't
So
remember-
I sent an email
I'll
out to
get
all
there.
the
I'll get it.
participants, and we can always add that in. So
Okay.
Here's the address. It is location is the CPR Schoolhouse at 1103 Schrock Road, Suite 103, zip code 43229.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Just wanted to have it for the recording.
glad you got it.
Thank you. So, the next committee we're going to talk about is Sunshine, and I actually would like to ask Mary Lynn Pipo if she would head up that committee, and and I can work with her to recruit, but I would like her to head it up, even though she was, I think it was her that was working on that, but we need to make some changes to it. But I would like Mary Lynn Pipo to head up the Sunshine Committee.
As soon as the members vote on the criteria, what they want, they would
Yes.
consider it.
Correct.
I think the voting should be done by the membership, not a committee. The criteria should be set up by the members, not a committee.
Okay, so, but what I'm saying is create the committee, come up with some guidelines and then bring it back to the membership as a committee and yes, then let them vote on it. So that's why I'm wanting the committee to create it, so we can come up with some newer guidelines and then bring it back to the membership and yes, let them vote on.
I will repeat what I said. I think the guidelines should be voted on by the membership. And then the committee formed to follow the directives of the membership.
Okay. So let's have a discussion
discussion.
right now about that. So what should the guidelines be?
I mean, it feels more efficient for me for like 3 people to get together and figure out what the guidelines can be, given the mobility issues that various members have and so on and so forth. So it, rather than take time right now to discuss it among 17 or 18 people, maybe if people could volunteer to be the formation group for that. And then the process ought to be like, once they have their suggestions, is make sure they publish it to the membership far in advance, not
Correct.
the day before a chapter meeting and not 2 weeks before a chapter meeting. And then once everybody has time to read it,
Correct.
then there can be a vote.
That's what I'm suggesting. We need the developer committee so we can redo those guidelines and yes, bring it to the membership. I'm agreeing with what Mary Lynn is saying. So let's
Yeah,
table-
I'm sorry. He handed me the microphone. I guess I would, are you ready for, a motion on this?
So Mary Lynn said we should discuss it, so let's discuss it. Now Lee's suggesting that there would be a committee formed to come up with some guidelines and then post it so that people can then vote on it and say, yeah, we want to keep this, no, we want to throw this part away. So either we discuss it now or we can discuss it later. It's up to you guys, what you guys want to do.
I guess I would like to make a motion that we form the committee as Lee suggested and have them come up with some ideas and bring it back to the group.
I agree.
Yeah,
with
this is Chuck. I personally agree with that. I mean, it's hard to have 17 people discussing something. Let's get volunteers for a committee, get the committee together, have them drop the recommendations and bring it back before the membership.
That's what I was saying originally. So
Yes, I agree with you.
So, anyone else? Does somebody want to second what, was that Shirley that said that? Yes. Anybody want to second this motion that we just, Mary
I'll
Highland?
second it.
Well, sorry, Mary, I think got it, first.
Okay.
Thank you, Chuck.
She's
All-
prettier than
all
I am, so
those
let
in
her have it.
favor? All of those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is there anybody opposed? The motion carries. Again, we just want to get it going. We know it was doing very well with Nikki, with Larry and Nikki. And we know that we need to make some changes and that's fine. We just need to get kind of moving with that. And then yes, bring it back to the membership and say, hey, this is what we think. Because we want to make sure this is something we can all help with, volunteer for, things of that sort. So,
So now we need committee members.
yes, we do. I was asking, again, I was trying to ask Mary Lynn because she had helped out briefly that she would just be the head of it and then and then find 2 other people that will work with her just to come up with some preliminary guidelines. That's all I was asking.
Okay, why not ask right now if there's 2
I'm
more
not asking
people
now.
in the,
I'm done with it. I'm not asking now. So we're gonna move on to the finance committee.
Yeah, but you got to have a committee. You got to appoint a committee so they can.
I was appointing a chair. So let me go back. So I was asking Mary Lynn if she doesn't want to do it. Shirley, would you like to chair the preliminary committee just to come up with some ideas of guidelines? And then
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Mary Lynn Highland, would you like to help her? And then Kathy Whitman, would you like to help her? Help them?
Okay, okay.
So you three ladies can talk and I can be in the meeting and help. We have to look at maybe what the old guidelines are and just, come up with some ideas and bring it to everybody and see what everybody thinks.
Okay.
What do you say, Ed? Okay, the three names is Shirley Roberts, Mary Highland, and Kathy Whitman. Am I saying that right, Kathy?
Right.
Okay. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Not doing that on purpose. All right. Thank you, ladies, so much. Appreciate it. So now I would like to move on to the Finance Committee. And I would like to have either Lee or Patrick talk about what the Finance Committee has been working on.
Be glad to do that as soon as I make a note.
Okay, Lee's making a note. One moment, everybody. Thank you for your time and patience.
The older I get, the fewer brain cells there are. Just writing down and actually, let's see, who was that? And then hearing things at the same time. Well, it's hard.
It's hard.
Life was very hard. Anyway, so in theory, I think I published this out to the memberships to see, but it may not have happened given the giant spam fiasco caused by Spectrum. So, but that's another subject, and we will probably, discuss that over while getting drunk over beer or something. Anyway, so. Oh yeah, I know you did because you got everything. Yeah, right. So the Finance Committee meeting was on July 31st, and basically we've come up with 3 topics. And this is all suggestions. We're not saying this is cast in stone. We're not saying that at all. The suggestion we're bringing forward is that we want to keep the current business meeting hybrid format. That is both meeting in person and in Zoom at the same time. But we'll endeavor to make the in-person attendance more attractive by doing the kind of fun things that we used to do. And like spice up the business meeting by adding in stuff like PHP jug, which we actually could still do, but bring back the 50-50 raffle. Remember how Martha used to go around and talk to everybody and collect tickets and say, how are you today? And stuff like that. Another thing we could do is say, turn to your neighbor and say hi, like we do in lots of churches, things like that. And ask them how it's going with you and anything, what's going on. Who has birthdays this month? And also we need to pay attention with some, this is a job, I think, for a committee of like some kind of welcoming committee to just, coddles people who haven't been here. It's a person walks in the door and they haven't been here a while and they get welcomed and talked to and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I know. You're I have my sights on you, Julie. Anyway. Yeah. So, and then the last part of that, which is very important, is to have a member concerns time. That is, members have the floor right at the end of the business meeting. Yes, I've heard applause on that. So that issues that the membership is feeling or that maybe they have in their life are brought up and discussed and known to the entire group. Now, to accommodate these agenda elements, maybe the business meeting might have to get extended to 1 hour, 20 minutes, and the activity or speaker reduced to 40. Maybe not. We'll probably play by, depends how it works out. But again, this is suggested, and it was open for discussion. Of course, it's open for discussion. And then recruiting committees, you've already seen that kind of an action right now. It used to be, and I've got to get Kathy Whitman credits for this because she pointed out that right in the meeting, the committee chair or a chair of an activity, volunteered or had themselves volunteered right then And then other participants in the committee either selected or the person who was selected as selected themselves as committee chair would go out and recruit another couple of people. And then that committee would take the ball and run with whatever that job is. If there's rules to be written, then that committee would take the first cut at writing the rules and then bring it back to the chapter for voting, giving the chapter a lot of time ahead of time for any such vote. And then the last thing I think we discussed is that we've been having, as last year we had examples of, we had expenditures show up which were surprises. Like the Fall Fest, that was a big surprise to us. Right. And how we were going to support the state convention, that was something of a surprise. So any financial commitment that that say we are normally used to making, or other people think we are normally used to making, or that the state wants us to do, has to be built up in some kind of reasonable time frame, not like 2 days ahead. So Patrick, if you got anything to add to this, because or Kathy.
I don't think so.
Troy.
Alda, audio now in.
No, I don't think so.
Any questions anybody has for?
Gail and I many times have discussed when new members come, sometimes they get greeted, sometimes they don't. And we've had some that have come once or twice and they never come back because they don't feel like part of the group. Gail and I have on occasion done this, and we'd like to make it an official thing, if Gail still wants to do it, where we make a point to call new members, meet with them, go out to eat, whatever, not a big group, a small group, 4 to 6, say 4 new members, and just get to know them, make them feel welcome, make them as soon as possible feel like they are a valued part of the group.
I got the mic and I don't know why, but I'd be happy to do that. I did
So
it years
that-
ago. It was fun.
That Julie? Okay. I was gonna ask Julie if she wanted to be in charge of the welcome committee. Her and Mike do a good job of that.
So we have a welcoming. Whom did you name, Janae?
Huh?
Whom did you name?
Julie Russell. I said her and Mike do a great job. They, if her and Gail and Mary Lynn all want to do that.
New members. If
Huh?
we get new members,
We
need-
actually have 2. I was gonna bring that up in new business. We have, I'll bring it up now. We have 2 new members. I've reached out to them. One of them, her name is Mia Ward. I met her at the Accessible Ohio conference and expo when I went to sit at the ACB Ohio table with Michelle. She works for the state. She has MS and her vision is changing because of that. So I recruited her. And we have another young lady, I'm gonna call her by young because I don't know how old anybody is. Tanya Walker, she actually lives in Springfield. And since Dayton doesn't have an active chapter, she opted to come up here and be a part of us. And so I don't know if she's here today or not, but those are our 2 newest members, and I can make sure you have their information. You want to reach out to them as well, but I've been corresponding with them via email.
I'd like to make a suggestion. Denise speaking. Since this, I was thinking of this before you even mentioned that the person's from Springfield, but if members aren't in a geographical area that they could meet as a small group, that maybe if that person does Zoom or some other way, that there might be some way to interact with that person on a social level.
Yes. I was thinking about that too, especially with Tanya being that she's in Springfield. And she has diabetes, and so I made sure that, I told her, I said, please come to the meeting and connect with our members here. We'll be happy to have you. But I also connected her to one of our special interest affiliates, Diabetic in Action, so that she can have some connection there. But I told her, I encouraged her to come here. And yeah, so I didn't name, 2 meetings. I wanted you all to do that, but she, has shared that she's trying to connect with people that share that same connection with her. So those are our 2 newest members.
And
So
we can use Zoom to facilitate that, pretty easily. The Zoom account
correct.
could be used for
Yeah.
other things.
Right. And if say somebody's using the one for Columbus, I have one that I pay for, that I'm willing to let people use if need be.
I also have one I can do.
And since the meeting idea is always the same, as long as nobody has the meeting going at the same time, you're good to go. So
Correct.
as far as I know, anyway.
Mm-hmm. So
May I make a suggestion around the financial committee stuff? Is that since that would got brought forward to this members meeting, that what components of it that need to get voted on can be brought forward at the September meeting, like
sure,
meeting format.
sure.
And so I'm not making that with the force of emotion. I'm just suggesting that as a path forward.
Yeah, I don't mind. Don't mind. Don't mind at all.
Lee, how long do we have the room here?
Till 3, technically. I mean, I actually have never been chased out before because it takes me a long time to, especially today will be a long time because I have to reset it the way it was. But it's about 3. Yeah.
Okay, I was just,
Pay for it. Well, I don't think over about 3:30. Yeah. I mean,
I just wondered if it was fair to, I wondered if it was fair to contract the speakers to 40 minutes, and I was wondering if we had more time available in the room that we could keep them closer to the normal hour that they do.
I think time will tell. Maybe we don't need more time really to do that kind of.
Yeah, we're
Sure,
gonna
activity.
see as we go along.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Traveling to Mary Carabinos. Travel.
Yeah, I like the idea of taking time to know each member and like give them an opportunity to maybe bring up something that they've been concerned about or ask questions of the group. So I like that part of it.
That's good to know. Roundtable discussion, to me, that would go under the we're gonna do we're gonna have our first one today. On the agenda, I called meeting, did I say meeting moment or member comment or something? I don't,
Members have the floor.
yeah,
Yeah.
I called it something, I don't remember. I don't have
Member
the
moment.
Member moment.
member moment, yes.
No, Gail, maybe you mean something different. You mean like, do you mean like a particular topic?
Topic?
Cooking, beating it to death or something? Is that what you mean?
Well, it was, I took it as a kind of a support group meeting. Well, if a new member or even a regular member that's been here for a while, if they're having issues, then people that want to talk about that or help the person kind of have little round table discussion.
Oh, so for example, if someone's having an issue, may say with CODA, for example, having a roundtable discussion about that, maybe? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, well, there's no point in talking about code.
Right, but I'm
Sure.
just using that as an example.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But yes, that's actually, I may have missed it, but that was part of
Yeah.
what I
know
meant
we,
to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, because that was in
Yeah.
the financial committee meeting. So I
Yeah.
apologize if I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
No, and I happened to think about it today. I had a long time to think about it on Mainstream.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was out on East Main Street, Airport Drive, Cassidy.
You were all
Ah.
over, weren't you?
I always am.
Okay. Any other questions for the finance committee? Okay. Well, thank you guys for that report. We'll have some things for you all to vote on very soon. I think this is our the second meeting, first meeting? Second meeting. So yeah, we'll have some stuff for you guys to vote on and chew on in September. Okay, so next thing on the agenda is news from ACB Ohio.
We have Katie. Hey, there you are. We have Katie and
I
Michelle.
don't know who has a voice anymore. I know.
I
might be
do
the-
for a little bit and then it
Okay.
goes away.
Oh.
So,
Hello, Katie.
hi. I am recovering from COVID that I brought back from Jacksonville. So that was an unwanted guest in my luggage on the return home. So, Michelle, if you are able, I'll let you talk and I can fill in if needed. But everyone would probably rather hear your nice voice than my scary one.
All right.
Not scary, but it's
Oh,
not
very
scary,
good.
Katie. It's not
I
scary.
think it sounds cute. Yeah.
Go
Well,
ahead.
if anyone likes a cough, I'm happy to share. So
At least you didn't bring home bed bugs. So
this
there's
is true. Right?
Oh,
Look on the
no.
bright side.
that. I guess I'll talk for a minute about Fall Fest because I know you guys have heard it before. But so we've got Fall Fest coming up in Worcester. That is September 27th through 29th. Weekend of fun in the sun. Military museum tour, dinners, Worcester Fest, hiking, fishing. There's rumors of a euchre tournament. Just I don't know, socializing, hanging out, having fun. But one thing that has changed since our last meeting, registration, the cost has been lowered, cut in half. We went from $80 to $40, thanks to the Worcester Lions. They did some fundraising on our behalf. So it's only $40. The hotel is $125 a night. And also a new development is we have a limited number of stipends for participants, up to $200. So if you need a little financial help to attend, that's available. Also, stipends up to $300 for sighted volunteers. That comes out of the Ken Bordwell Fund. So, and registration for that will be on acbohio.org very soon. Is there anything I missed about Fall Fest, Katie?
On the registration form, well, first of all, you will need to make your own hotel reservations. So there's information on the website now about how to do that. It's the Best Western in downtown where we stayed last year. A really nice, easy to navigate hotel, close to everything. The downtown is really walkable. So make your reservations are made on your own. The deadline for hotel reservations is August 27th. So do get those in. And the registration deadline for Fall Fest itself will be September 6th. Again, the hotel information is up. I think they're still working out a technicality with the registration form, but you can find it on acbohio.org.
there was something else I was going to say. I wonder what it might have been. Yes, we do have the stipends of, oh, yes, on the registration form when it goes live. We'll also send out an email about this too. You will choose if you're a participant, a sighted, blind or sighted participant, or a volunteer. And then if you need a stipend, there's a box to check for that also. So we'll make sure to send out a note when that's up on the website live.
Thank you. Then we have the ACBI convention, of course, October 25 to 27 in Indianapolis. Let's see, I was looking at the workshops here. We've got stuff on independent living, tips and techniques for cooking safely, of course, auction, banquet, awards, the business meeting, conflict resolution, how to develop a workout plan. I need that. Anyway, so the registration for that is open now, and that will be on ACB Ohio soon. Costed $80 for registration, $139 for the hotel for a double room. What else about that?
We do have a stipend for chapters to help with transportation to convention. But I don't have that number in front of me from what we agreed on at the board meeting. But we are helping chapters with transportation to the state convention. So we'll make sure we have more information about that for September. The registration deadline for the state convention it's not till I think the beginning of October. So we have some time for that one, but still just keeping that on your radar. So, but that's available.
There'll be more details, of course, in the next newsletter, the fall issue.
Yes. One more announcement.
A question from our floor.
Hold on, we have a question.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, just a quick comment to go along with what you guys were saying. I saw the other day that the in-person registration is 80, and if you're doing it like on Zoom or whatever, instead of going in person, then it's $40 registration. Is
Yes,
I
that's
thought
correct.
You might want to know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, Katie.
Are there any other questions about convention or anything before I go on with this next announcement?
About convention or Fall Fest, based on what you heard so far, anyone?
It was fun. I went last year.
Hopefully you'll go again, Sean. And others. It is a fun time. It really is.
I'm sorry. Hello. I have a quick question for the Fall Fest. You said
Yes.
all that will be on the ACBO website, like how to register and everything?
Yes. So if you go there right now, there's information about making your hotel reservations. The registration form is not yet live. I think they're still working out a technicality with something, technology is great. But yes, it will be up on the acbohio.org website, and we'll be sure to let people know when that is live. But you can make your hotel reservation now. There's a phone number you can call, or there's a link to do it online.
And will all that be posted? Will all that be posted with the registration form?
Yes, it's all right there. Yep. It's all on one page. So there's information, and then it just says, it'll say like, click here to register, and you just click on the link and fill out the form and then pay.
I have a question too. I'm a little confused. The hands-on museum, is that in Worcester or is that in Indianapolis?
So good question, Mary. And we're doing two. So there is a military museum tour in Worcester for Fall Fest. That will have some items that people can touch, and there'll be gloves provided for that. And then you are correct that during the convention with Indiana, we are going to the Children's Museum, which sounds fun for some of us who are kids at heart. It has a lot of interactive exhibits and things to touch and explore there in Indianapolis. So that is happening Friday afternoon. So there are two different museums and two different tours. So any other questions?
Anything in Zoom, Sean?
There does not appear to be.
All right, I just want to make one more announcement, at least. We do have our, we created an ACB Ohio walk team this year. We participated in the Brenda Dillon Memorial Walk during the national convention. That's a fundraiser that helps support ACB nationally and our state affiliate. And so there is still time to make a donation to that if you wish to do so. I can get the link sent out again. It was in the last issue of the newsletter, but we are using the proceeds that we raise from that to help out our statewide matching grants program. So that's, again, another way for people to help get, it's, very similar to people helping people, a way for people to help get technology and other things around our state. So donations can be made to that until the end of the month. And of course, we have our Voice Corps and monthly membership calls. Voice Corps the first Wednesday of each month at 11 a.m. And the monthly membership calls are the second Thursday of each month at 7 p.m.
Thank you, guys. Any other questions for Michelle or Katie? Anything in Zoom, Sean?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you all for the ACB Ohio report.
Thank you.
Sure.
Now we're going to move on to any old business. Anybody have any old business they would like to talk about or have any questions on or discuss? Anything in Zoom, Sean?
No.
Okay. Any new business anybody wants to bring up or talk about? By the way, is our speaker here?
Hi.
Okay. Oh, goody. Okay.
This is Mary. I don't know if this is considered new business or not, but this might fall under the thing we were talking about, asking people if they have an issue about something. And I have a question. Erwin suggested I bring it up at the meeting. Has anybody gone to the Kappa Summer Movie Series and did the audio described? Get the little box, whatever it's the receiver. And I've been having trouble understanding the movie at the same time of trying to listen to Jane do the audio described part. And I wonder if anybody else had that problem and how, I don't understand how to fix it, but because I think you have to take part of the earphone off to hear half the movie and her in the other ear. So I don't know if anybody else has that problem.
If they're having a problem, this is my thought, and I've encountered this when I've gone to AMC. That means they're not syncing up the tracks together, because it really should be the audio track for the audio description should be going in sync with the movie.
That's not how they do things in Kappa.
So they don't?
No, that's a Jane Ehrenfeld is giving description live.
Okay,
And
got
equipment,
you.
I can fill you in on that. Is the equipment is the stuff we used to use in Accessible Arts. And it is 117 years old.
Okay.
And along with the headphones may have been updated since then, but maybe not. But the receivers are still exactly the same nonsense we used to have. It's critical that you're on the right channel. It's critical that you have the volume turned up as far as possible. And sometimes the system still messes up.
And I'll add that sometimes you really have to choose which thing you're going to listen to because it's hard to keep track of all of it simultaneously. That's especially true, like if you're attending musicals or whatever.
Do
that
they
seems
have
to be-
anybody use the OKO app to see if it's any better? Or if it even covers some of when we were downtown, it covered the one we were going to.
Can't hear you on Zoom.
I'm sorry, the one we were going to downtown, the OKO app did cover. And then you can bring it's an app on your phone, and then you just put your own earphone in one ear, which is what I prefer to do. And then you have your other ear to hear, what's going on. And like I said, we got it when I was downtown, but I don't know how many places it covered.
I thought that was the traffic light app.
It's called, no, it's not OKO. I'm sorry. Listen, Eddie, Listen Everywhere. Listen Everywhere is supposed to cover a lot of this. I just wondered if anybody had tried their app. Okay.
Would that just cover movies though, or would it cover live plays?
So Julie says she's heard yes, but she's not quite sure.
Listen Everywhere is the name of the app. We go ahead. There we go.
If anybody knows about these apps, I think we should share it with everybody. Somebody might hear about one and know about it and nobody else does, like me.
Julie has mentioned about the Listen Everywhere app before in the last 6
We have?
months. Yeah, she's mentioned it.
Okay.
Maybe just have a 5-minute section in every meeting where people can mention like an app of the month.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a very good
Well,
idea.
I listened to the ACB convention, the podcast, and they talked about a lot of the apps that people like. And podcast also. So anyways, that was just a suggestion.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Any other hold on.
With this will be very important because AppleVis, as some of you know, is going away. So the discussing apps will be very important. So iAccessibility.net is another source where they're trying to start where we can view apps that are accessible.
Accessibility.net.
iAccessibility.net.
Oh, it's like the letter I.
Right. Yes.
iAccessibility.net.
Yes.
I'm just gonna repeat it one more time. iAccessibility.net.
Yes.
To make sure we have it for the recording.
I have a suggestion. Probably it wouldn't work for this month because of the first aid class, but maybe what we might do is if we're talking about apps and resources and stuff, maybe we do like the third Saturday of each month from 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 and do that kind of thing over Zoom. I think that might not be a bad way. I also have the ability to demonstrate apps now. My mixer is now working, so I can actually show things over Zoom. So
Okay, if you're willing to help with that, Sean, that would be great because we all could learn something new all the time. That would be great.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe we start that in September. So just make it the Saturday after the meeting, but at least start at 1 and see how long we go.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if we keep it at a similar time frame, then people might remember when it is.
Yeah. I like the idea. Absolutely. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, give Shirley the mic so I can't hear what she's saying over there. My poor little ears.
Yeah, in case some of you don't know, somebody mentioned the fact that Apple Viz is going away, but there is a discussion group that's been started for people who still want to discuss Apple Viz type items, and it's Apple Viz Discuss. And you can subscribe to it, I think, by sending an email to Apple Viz Discuss plus subscribe at groups.io. So if any of you are interested in following up with that, that might be a possibility.
Shirley, are you able to put that into our chapter email and send it to everybody too, so they can have it?
I think I should be able to, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll do my best. Thanks.
If any other new business? If not, we can adjourn the meeting and go to our
Janae,
mhm.
we've kind of been doing the members have the floor thing.
We kind of have, yeah. I was thinking
Yeah,
about that.
but if anyone wants to throw one more thing into the pot, we might have 5 more minutes. I see Erwin, his hand is up.
Okay, Erwin, we're bringing you the mic, honey.
You never called me honey.
Thank you.
Thank you,
this-
me, honey.
This is just kind of a note, just to have something that's fun to end on, and I'll make it short. I've received many calls in the last several weeks from people trying to get me to upgrade my phone systems to get better TV and all that, and I've gotten so disgusted with it. The last time they called me, I just said, I'm blind, I don't have a TV, goodbye.
Yeah, I don't either. You can ask them even to take them off the list. Is it Spectrum that's calling you, or just any and everybody? Okay.
I just got rid of cable, and I've been without cable for 2 months, and I'm just using my antenna, and guess what? I'm still alive.
Yay.
I'm surviving without cable.
I use YouTube TV, which I access through a Fire Stick. I haven't had cable in probably 6 years now.
I do have Sirius XM for all my sports because I can't really follow sports. I'm getting old, you know. I
Right.
can't really follow sports on TV.
Yeah, the radio does a way better job of sports.
Madam President, Madam President,
Yes, ma'am.
since our guest is here and it's after 2 o'clock, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you're fine, but we actually are doing something a little different with the fact that we're allowing people to kind of talk. So I was just going to give, another couple of minutes. Yeah, I know she's here. So,
I move that we adjourn our meeting.
With adjourning, we can do that, but if people still have some things they want to talk about, some concerns, some member concerns, if not, we can adjourn. I just want to give people a chance. Don't want to cut anybody off. I know she's here.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn our meeting.
I second Denise Bauman.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, so we're gonna let Mary Highland introduce our wonderful speaker.
Thanks, Madam President. Our speaker today is.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna give you a mic, honey.
Hello, hello.
Everybody's a honey to me now.
What? Oh, closer. Oh, there it is. Okay. Our speaker this afternoon is Caroline Karbowski, an Ed that's spelled Caroline, Karbowski. She is the founder and CEO of C3D, which is SEE, the number 3, and then the letter D. Many of us had the privilege of meeting Caroline at the fall convention. And we got to experience some of the models that she brought. And just on a personal note, I was just amazed, for instance, at the model of the White House. I love telling this story because it's just a blind person's dilemma. You hear about the Oval Office. I didn't know that the office really is an oval part of the building, but she brought a model of the White House and I got to see that along with other things. And in the meantime, I asked Caroline and her staff to make a model of downtown Gahanna, where I live in Gahanna, not in the downtown part, but I have a new guide dog and we will be walking the streets of downtown Gahanna to go to the coffee shop and the Gahanna Grill and some other places. So I'm really looking forward to using this 3D map. So Caroline, if you're ready, take it away.
One last personal note, I got to meet Caroline at the Accessible Ohio conference and expo. So
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mary, for that intro. I'm going to bring my models over to the table because.
come over here.
Oh, go over where?
This way.
Oh,
Over here.
oh, stand over there.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let me get my phone for a sec. Yeah. Of course. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to talk some and okay, put it right next to my teeth. Is this better, friend? Okay. How about I'll sit in the comfy chair.
It's in the comfy chair.
Is it? Oh, that's not good. Okay. I don't know. Little struggle here. Let's see if this is better. Okay. I don't know, guys. What do you think how does this work?
How about
Okay.
Can you use this mic, Lee? Okay. He's coming.
Oh. Okay, where should I go?
Come sit in
Stand
my
there?
chair. Come sit right here.
Okay.
Come sit right here. Yeah, come sit in my chair and you can use my mic.
Okay.
I'll stand.
Okay, sounds good. I can turn off the floating mic. Okay, that works. Yeah.
Yep, you can sit right
Thank you.
here. Have it.
Okay.
There's my mic right there. It should be on.
Mhm.
Yep, it's on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is this better, everyone? Or I don't know if I hear the mic though.
Gotta be really close to you.
How about
I can bring it up.
okay.
You can take it out the stand
Okay.
if you need to.
How about just move it closer? Okay. So what about that was good. I feel like I could hear somewhere there. Okay, this is good. I can do this. There we go. Well, hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me out here today. So, like Mary said, I'm Caroline, and I just graduated from Ohio State last week. Yay. Thank you. Thank you. I got my master's with O&M. So it was great. And the exciting update is I'm going to go to Perkins this August to teach O&M there for students. So
Hi.
I was there this summer for my internship. And so I'm going to do some more 3D printing there as well, because they're starting up some programs. So that is the big life update. So some background on me. So I'm sighted, but I got into blindness things in 6th grade. I decided to learn Braille so I could read books in the car without getting car sick. And so I just took like a pencil and pushed into notebook paper and then flipped over and read Braille that way. And my mom was a Delta Gamma in college, so she had some roommates that were TVIs. So they sent me some things and I got to visit them in high school and meet their students. And then I was always trying to find more applications for using Braille because being in high school, a lot of people were wondering why I kept wanting to learn Braille if I was sighted. And I saw some articles online about 3D printing models, and they were adding Braille to the models. So I thought, oh, I can add Braille to 3D printed models, and just tried to find how I could do that. So at my high school, we had 3D printers, we had a technology club, and I got my friends together where my tech friends would print models, and then I would add Braille to them and find people who might want some models. And then we presented this service project at a technology conference in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I'm from. And then from there, we started meeting more blind people, getting different requests for models. We made a website where people just requested the models. And then when I came to Ohio State, I wanted to keep doing the program. OSU gave us free legal advice to become a nonprofit. We started the 3D printing club at the Ohio State School for the Blind, or OSSB, and have done that now for 6 years. C3D really has grown now to where we've done 5,000 models to people in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico, and as well as the Virgin Islands, and as well as 25 countries outside the US. So a lot of like what we do is we get requests and then we coordinate the volunteers to print and design the models. And all of our volunteers work virtually and we talk on Slack. Slack is like kind of like Microsoft Teams. And it's a way for us, or a Facebook page, we can all discuss on the online forum, share the files we're working on, and then people print the models and mail them to Cincinnati, my family's home address. And then we get them ready to mail to the recipient, which we mail free matter for the blind shipping. We also have a bunch of printers in our basement at home because at first I was just printing models at my house, printing models at my school, but we've had actually a lot of people who've donated their printers and supplies to us. So now we have a studio in the basement. We even have some high schoolers who work in our basement and repair the printers. Some of them being from the technology conference where I initially presented C3D, which is kind of a full circle moment. And then at Ohio State, we have a lot of students who are interns for social media or writing descriptions of models. They do our management. So it's a lot of high school and college students who run things, and our volunteers are of all ages. We have a lot of retired engineers who like 3D printing and come back to learn some more skills. We also have a lot of blind and low vision volunteers and as well as contractors who work with us. I'm really excited. We have one graduate of OSSB who was in the 3D printing club there, and now she works for us writing descriptions of models. Right now she's doing a weather kit. So she has a tornado model of the first photo taken of lightning, and then Hurricane Sandy. And then she researches about these and writes about in the description, like when you touch certain parts of the model, she tells you what it's about, and also is providing safety tips for people with disabilities to, like, if you're in some of these storms, like what you should do. And so I've been really excited about that project that she's working on. And then some of our high school interns are the ones that modify the models. So like for the model of lightning, they printed it out, gave it to her. Her name's Emerald. And then she would give them feedback and then they would change it and make it better. We also have a really cool team out in New Jersey with the Mountain Lakes Makerspace. And it's a library makerspace that does a lot with high school students in the area. So a cool project that we did with them, as well as the Clovernook Center for the Blind in Cincinnati, is they made models that are representative of the illustrations in different African children's stories. So Clover Nook works with a lot of contacts in schools for the blind throughout Africa. They get a lot of Braille donations. And then the schools asked if they could have books that were in their own languages and about some of their own like stories instead of just getting like leftover USA books because it wasn't meaningful to the students. So Clover Nook made print Braille books, and then C3D, the group in New Jersey, as well as Northern Kentucky University, designed these models and printed the models to go with the books. And then Clover Nook went and visited the students to get feedback from them. And now we're working together on a larger scale grant to do this at about 10 times the scale and do more books. We had 10 books this time. We really want to and do more of those books. And so that was really exciting. Like what's powerful with 3D printing is you can make models of mostly anything, and people all around the world can print the exact same thing. So it's an easy way to share materials as well as work together to modify them. They're also in places like, since 3D printers are used for more than just tactile models, a lot of people have them. Like they're in maker spaces, they're in engineering places, they're at colleges. So it's a good way sometimes to get access to material to make something that's accessible. And because it's just it's a multi-use tool. So the other exciting thing with 3D printing is it's the ability to modify and customize things for users. So you can often buy pre-made models, but what if you need a model that's slightly bigger or something that's a little bit easier to feel, or you want to remove clutter? Well, you can modify all of that for each person based on their needs. And it's also fairly inexpensive. Like the biggest cost in 3D printing comes from the design work, as well as the electricity to run the printers. So we often think about like the plastic and the cost, but really it's when the printer is running for 12 hours, that's taking up a lot of energy. That's really where the money comes from, as well as fixing the printers if they break down. But the printers have gone so much more affordable now. I mean, we last year got printers at Micro Center for $100 each, right? You know, like those exist. There's I say the two cool printer models out right now. There's the Bamboo printer, where it even fixes itself. If it notices there's problems, it can sense its problems and stop itself, and it's really fast. Then I'd say the most accessible printer right now is the Prusa printer, because they actually added a beeping setting in the menu. So when you turn the dial, it beeps, and when you get to the top or the bottom of the menu, it makes a different beeping tone. So you can count the beeps and then know what you're hitting. Like ideally, it'd be great if it spoke the words. The problem is the speaker doesn't have the capability to talk more than just doing a beep sound. But they did add that in based on feedback from people. So I think that it is kind of nice that like the company put that in. We'd like to see some more accessible printing. The other way you can do a lot of accessible printing is having your printers connected to a Wi-Fi and then control it from your phone or computer. There's another exciting thing we're starting. So at OSSB, we've been printing with the kids for about 6 years now. And the way that the students print, they do a lot of like Ira or any like visual interpreter app to read what the screen says. They also might use their magnifier to read the printer screen. There's also the computer programming software to print. There's a software called Simplify 3D based in Cincinnati, and it's the most screen reader accessible slicer. So we're trying to get that at OSSB for the students. The problem is you have to pay for the slicer, and other slicers are free. It would just be better if they were all accessible. What some people have done is using the command line. Like they kind of like, instead of just bypassing the software and typing in the command line to be accessible, there's a lot of different workarounds. And since some of these workaround solutions are like pretty techy, can be kind of complicated, we started a 3D printing mentorship program last year where we pair people who are blind and low vision that know how to 3D print with Schools for the Blind or Orgs for the Blind, and they do Zoom mentorship to teach teachers and students how to use the printers. So one guy named Kai in Canada, He's blind and prints by himself, and he helped out the Kansas State School for the Blind. And now they have a full maker space, and they're even hoping to have it be a student work program, starting to where the students could do it as a job skills program to print for students throughout Kansas, not just the students at the school. We worked with a Braille transcriber in Michigan who wants to print for all her students. We also got printers sent out to a blindness organization in Sierra Leone that serves 3 schools for the blind. And we also got a printer to a school for the blind in Turkey. So the biggest thing now is trying to find someone that knows Turkish who can help them with their printers, right? So what we've worked on right now is they have an engineer who lives near them. He lives there and he's Turkish. And so he does a lot of the 3D printing stuff. And then he's also our interpreter when we want to talk about accessibility related things. And it's really exciting because now, like, if we can give people their own printer, that's going to be a lot better because we then don't have to mail to them, because it takes a long time to mail to Turkey or Sierra Leone, right? And now if someone in Sierra Leone can print, they can give it to people near them. It enables people in their own area to learn those job skills, as well as get the models there faster. So and we just got a grant again to do this again next year. So I'm really excited to start that over. And it's nice because we also have some more documentation with all of these schools who are printing on what's worked for them, and we can collaborate, because before we didn't know what schools had programs, but now I know that the Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired has a program. There's even one at the Washington State School for the Blind. And so we can talk when we have these various accessibility issues. So I'm excited at Perkins now to get them more on board with 3D printing, because they have some, but the students currently aren't printing yet. So hopefully we can maybe start a club there as well. So that's the biggest update on C3D's end. I guess some other cool stats about C3D is 75% of our model requesters, their C3D is their only source to get prints. So most people come to us to get prints, and then sometimes they show their funders or their school, look what we can do with 3D printing, and then they can get funding to buy their own printer. So we also, about like 5 to 10% of our people who request from us, though, are people who have printers, but sometimes their printer breaks down, and so they use us as a backup. Some other strategies for like learning how to 3D print is we take failed prints and then show them to students and say, see, this is what happens when a model is only printed halfway. Or see how this model is falling apart. It's because the printer did this, and we need to change the settings. So we keep a lot of our broken pieces and use them as teaching tools. The other exciting thing just in general with 3D printing is it opens a lot of ways for students to practice their tech skills. Some students had never used a keyboard before or used a computer before at OSSB, and then they started to learn typing skills because they wanted to work the printer. It's a great motivator, So, and that's another thing too. I am also starting an assistive technology program in Boston that would lead to CADIS certification. So I'm hoping to use that for more 3D printing things. Also, I think some of you also know Deborah Kendrick. So Deborah, I call her, she's probably one of the first people who really believed in me, because in high school, when I went to the tech conference, we did not win anything at the conference. I was really sad, but I met Cassandra Jones in Ohio, and she said, well, I know Deborah, she's a writer. Maybe she can write an article about C3D and get it out there. So Deborah interviewed me, and she put an article in Access World. And the next day, someone from India requested a model. So that was pretty wild. And so Deborah got a butterfly model, and I actually have a butterfly model today. It's similar to the one that Deborah had, but our one now is better because we've improved it through the years. And so yeah, Deborah's been a great supporter. Lots of models have gone to her. And at the state convention we had here in Ohio, I did a presentation, brought some models out. We did the logos as well as the CPR training. And today I have a whole bunch of models here as well that we can pass around. And so I was trying to figure out how we want to do it. Like I can do one model at a time, we pass it around. We could pass models around and then I come around to you and let you know what some of the things are, because some things require a little bit of context to know what's going on. I also have Braille and large print versions of the C3D info pamphlet. And if you want the electronic version, I can email that to you. The main contact info things to know for C3D, like if you want to request a model, you go to c3d.org. So SEE, the number 3D.org. And our email is info@c3d.org. I also have Braille large print business cards that have that info, as well as a QR code for my contact info. For a contact card, it's really easy. And they're made at Clovernook. So if you want to see their business cards they make there, it's really fun. I have some highlight models today that are special. I have a model of the Ohio State House that Ohio State House had a model in real life, and they lost the file for it to 3D print. This model was made by scanning the State House with drones. So I know this is like really fancy. So we took their model to a 3D printing company in Cincinnati, and they used a CT scanner to scan it and then make a new file to 3D print. And that normally would cost about $3,000 to do the CT scan, but the company did it for free as long as we did a social media post. So we can get a lot of in-kind donations like that sometimes, which is really nice. Yeah, that's the big thing. The way that we're funded, we have various grants that we apply for, as well as people donate after they request a model, or if we do large orders with schools or organizations, we then have a quote for that. A lot of our equipment and our materials are donated. Another thing we do is we recycle old models and broken models, and we get discounts to buy recycled filament. So everyone that prints for us around the US sends all of their broken models to one place, so that then we can then buy on the discount from all of our volunteers, which is a nice deal. And a lot of people that just volunteer for us as well, but we do have some paid staff who are some of our interns and people that work most of our like paid staff are around the 20-hour a week people that do various tasks and connecting with people. So one thing, so I think I could pass around some of the models. I also, and then I might just like maybe come to you to look them. We can figure that out. I know Mary also brought some of the models she requested, and we're going to put some wiki sticks on the models to show the routes on her map. So that's been my new strategy, is if we have a tactile map, we can put the wiki sticks and make a trail. Oh, they're like little string covered in wax. And then you can bend it and push it on a flat surface and it stays there. And they come in all different colors. Yes, yeah, they're very popular in schools. So
Been a long time since I've been.
it's been yeah, it is kind of like a pipe cleaner, except it's instead of fluffy, it's waxy. So the only thing is, if sometimes like I put these on maps, but then I take it out in the sun and then the wax starts to kind of melt and bend, but you got to push it back on again. So yes, because there is the way that we made Mary's maps is a website called TouchMapper, where you put in your address and it auto generates a file to 3D print. So all of the buildings are like raised squares, and then there's thin lines for the streets. There's a cone for the address. In theory, it could be better. Sometimes it's a little cluttered, but it is an auto-generated file. So sometimes like we just, do the thing that takes 5 minutes, and then we print it out, and then we might modify it afterwards. I'll say for the effort though, it's a really great service because it just requires, no effort to really do. And you even can use that website for an embosser if you had that as well. I know. So it's really nice that someone just made that and then put it online for free. That's what a lot of this 3D printing stuff are, people just designing models and then posting them online for others to modify. So a lot of models we can just find on the internet. Others we have volunteers modify them. Kind of like the lightning bolt model was custom designed by someone. We do logos. I have a fun logo today. Now we can do multicolor printing on the Bamboo printer. So like I have a logo where the base is white, but then all the wording is pink and purple and orange. So you can also paint a model too. We can 3D print Braille. Oh yes, I don't say this. So I am now a Braille transcriber too. So yay. So it was really fun. Thank you. And I think what's really special is I for my manuscript, I did Haben Girma's memoir. So if you know Haben, yeah, so Haben's a I did you meet her last year when she came? Yes, I was there too.
At
The art museum. Yeah, so Haven's like the first deaf-blind person to graduate from Harvard Law School. And she came to Columbus last year, and I brought my Braille manuscript, and she read the first page and signed it. So that was really special. So
I have a picture with her.
Yes.
She's sweet pea.
yeah, she's really nice. If you get to meet her, it's very fun. Like, and if when you talk, someone is typing, and then it pops up on her Braille display, and then she speaks back to you. So it's kind of a cool way to communicate. So let's maybe get out some of these models here. And I will say, like, sometimes you might touch something and you might be like, I don't know what this is. And like, that's okay. Like sometimes like learning some of these tactile skills and like it can take a bit. So there's like when we give these models to students, like we provide descriptions of them. We can go on phone calls to describe things with people. These are often given to like their TVIs to then incorporate, because it's not always like a magical, like, and now I understand what this looks like moment. Sometimes it is. So just like, don't worry too much if you're kind of struggling, because we can definitely come around and explain what everything means. So, and please give feedback as well. Also, all the models in here, like if you want them, you can take them. I just need to know when you leave what's being taken so I can keep account. But you know, it's easier if you take the models than it is for me to mail it to you. So I'd rather them go if you want them, especially if you're friends. So we can check those out. And thank you again for inviting me to come today.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, you know, I also thought maybe I don't, do we want to do a Q&A thing now or pass the models around and have that lead to like Q&A? Does anyone have a burning question you want me to address now?
I just have a very quick question. Is there a place where one like myself who is very unfortunately missed today's meeting, is there a place that I could go actually touch some of these models? Because having never seen before, I'm having a real hard time trying to conceive of what 3D printing even really is.
Well, what location are you in? Like what city?
I'm here in Columbus. I'm in the Linden area, not that far from you. I just couldn't get off work in time to.
Oh God. So I'll say on one, like you can email it info@C3D and we can discuss more. And I'd also say if you ever go to OSSB, they have a 3D printing collection of everything that we've made through the years. So
maybe I will send you an email if that's okay.
Yes, yeah. If you email me too, we can discuss some more on that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll say, like, to explain how 3D printing works, I guess I will say that we have a spool of filament. It's like the thickness of pasta, and think of like spool of yarn, but it's thick, okay? Because it's
right.
And then you put it through the top of the printer through the extruder. It's like a hot glue gun. It's a hot metal end. And then the hot glue gun, if you're going to say, let's do a cylinder, it would draw on the base of the base of the build plate, squirting out a little bit of melted plastic. So first it would draw the circle outline, and then it would go zigzag back and forth, filling in the entire circle. Then it would draw the outline of the circle again, fill it in, and it's just adding layer by layer until you're all done. So sometimes I say it's like stacking pancakes because it's multiple layers.
Wow.
Yeah. So it can take anywhere from like 30 minutes to say 30 hours to print something, depending on how big it is and what your techniques are.
I wish you could print me an iPhone that won't talk all the time while I'm on a phone call. That would be great.
I will say, we have done an iPhone. Like we did one with different
screens.
Yeah, that has different screens that pop out to show what like the app icons look like, or what the voicemail screen looks like, or Safari. And so that was done by a student wanted that, and so that's a fun model. It does not talk to you because it's plastic, of course, right?
That's wonderful.
You could even say some people have even like 3D printed a stencil that goes over their iPad. So if they're like trying to hit a certain button and they don't want to accidentally hit the wrong part of the screen, there's only an open window where they should touch the
Do
icon.
you ever print anything like the space shuttle or things like that so people can get an idea? Really?
Yeah, so yeah, we've done lots of space things. Right now, doing like the Concorde airplane, like different airplanes, as well as different Tesla cars. So the pretty much there's a lot of things out there that people just post online for free. So
I will send you an email. Thank you
yes,
so
thank
much.
you. What was your name?
My name is Chuck Adkins.
Okay, great to meet you. I heard someone else.
Great to meet you.
Did someone else have a question in person here? Yes.
The house.
Yes. Yes, there is such thing as 3D.
Well, I already asked my question, but they're building a 3D house. Do you know where it is?
So I don't know, but I have heard.
Seriously?
Like
Yes,
it has,
I'm pretty sure that, yes, this is there's several different technology companies doing this. There is one currently in Columbus. Basically, they're extruding concrete.
yep. And you can even 3D print food like chocolate and like waffles. I mean, I don't know if I want it, but it exists. You can 3D print metal. It's really big for a lot of manufacturing because you can make things that instead of using injection molding.
SpaceX uses 3D printing to make their rocket parts cheaper.
Yeah.
A lot of engine parts, U.S. Army uses it for replacement parts.
Wow.
Field, rather than going back to the continental United States to get the part, they make it right there in a tractor trailer.
Yeah, and you can 3D print in space as well. There's a printer there, so that way if they need a part, you don't have to wait
Oh
till
my goodness.
the ship comes, right? It's like my roommate did research on 3D printing rockets as well as how to 3D print materials in space at Ohio State. So there's a lot of different applications besides just like this plastic printing that we use for models. So we print a lot in plastic, but there's so many materials and printers. Now the ones that are printing metal are a lot more expensive than what we're using. But this is why we really want to teach students how to use these printers because there's so many job opportunities with this now.
Yep.
And this is why it's also really important for it to be accessible. So that's why I'm excited that Kansas wants to do a work program now with their students. So that it's just really exciting about that.
Well, and another use for it is there are people that are into older computers and there are parts that are not made anymore
Yes.
for those. And so what the people are doing is they're coming up with 3D printed models of, parts from the Commodore 64 that aren't made anymore, or, some of the Tandy stuff that's not made anymore.
Exactly. And I guess another important thing about 3D printing is the models are hollow. Like you could decide to make it solid, but for the most part, they usually have a honeycomb or some sort of lattice structure inside. So to save on material. And if you are traditionally manufacturing with injection molding, you're pouring your, liquid metal. So the whole thing's solid. That takes up a lot of material. But when you can 3D print it, you can make things hollow. So that's something that's pretty special about it too. So the models will be very light today that you experience because they're hollow. Well, great. Well, how about we go? Any other questions at all? Okay, well, how about we go? Did you say bring any seats? States? I don't know. I have a globe. I have two globes. I have a globe that has the continents on it with Braille. I don't know if I have states. I know that we've 3D printed all of the states with topography, so you can feel the mountains on them. I don't know if I have them in the bag. I have to see what's in there. But of course, if we don't have one, you can always request one on c3d.org. So yeah, that's definitely an option. Well, let's see what I have in the bag. Okay, let's go pass it out. Yeah. Maybe I'll just pass around. Braille, what is head? Okay. Maybe I'll start all the models on this end and we'll go in a circle. The White House. Like I said, I don't know. I have to see what's all in here. I have to look again. That's the White House. You can feel the columns and the windows on the side.
So is this the floor basically?
Yes, yes.
And then I assume this is the west wing?
So I'm not 100% sure. I have to like look at a picture. I gotta look at a
Nice.
picture.
That's okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm passing the White House to my right.
Okay.
Got it?
Oh, it's a little. I'm gonna show you an example here. A Nevada map that was made, and the braille is a little scratchy because it's printed flat, but it's showing you what you can do with labeling. So.
Hey,
Nevada,
Lee.
there's some braille labels on it,
I want
and
to
then
see
on
the
the
White
back,
House and then I'm going
it's
to
the city.
disappear.
Oh, okay. I can borrow the White House.
Head.
In better
But-
Braille?
Yeah. It looks just like the pictures I've seen of him.
How did you do this plastic?
Like, like when I make it or how
How
I,
did you get it to shape exactly?
well, so
The printer does all
the
this?
printer does all that, yes.
Interesting.
It first it drew its little feet
Okay.
and then it started building up like an arch and it's
Yeah, this is kind of the part where the Zoom is going to be
I know.
less helpful. So
Like Zoom. Hey Zoom. Hey Zoom here. I was gonna give you some info on the models. So I passed around an alligator, a bust of Louis Braille, a Nevada map that has topography with little Braille letters that like it says a W, for example, and that represents the city name. So on the Nevada map, there's also a key with Braille. And then we also did a White House. And next, I'm going to pass around. I have a constellation dome of the Northern Hemisphere. It goes with a tactile planetarium show that COSAI actually did at one point. And it originated though in Spain. Then we were able to bring it to COSAI. And there's also a globe here with raised continents and Braille that say the continent name. And we did those for the Ohio Braille Challenge this year. All the students got that. They also either got one of the children's books of the African children's stories. They either got one of those, or if they were older, they got a model of the Sphinx with a description. And I think I had the Sphinx. I have also I'm going to pass around. I have a learning guide in large print and Braille. I think it's of the American flag. That's from our USA kit. So every year our biggest print job is sending things to Braille Challenge for the students as a goodie bag prize. And the globe model that's passed around, it was designed by someone in Australia. So again, there's so much great research going on actually in Australia. One of my friends got her PhD in 3D printing for the blind. That's a real degree. I didn't even know it. And now she runs a research team, about 13 people in Melbourne, Australia, at Monash University. And they do so much research on this now, which is so exciting. I'm going to go keep passing some models here. I know I have one of the African children's storybooks, so I think people might want to see that. Okay, so in a bag, I have the very small man that has the book and the models that go with the book. So this book is a real story about a guy in Uganda who was really tall and how things were too small for him, so he made bigger versions.
No, that's all. Thank you so
So
much.
he had his bed was too small, and in the picture it shows him like his bed was too small. So he made a larger bed. So we have a smaller bed and a
Huh?
small bed.
Can I have
In
the White
fact,
House back?
maybe
Oh,
you,
I
like,
wanted
you
to
can
ask
see
a
that
question real
and
quick.
go
Okay.
together
So
together.
that's the front of it? No, not that side. This the front of it?
It's an uncontracted braille.
Yes.
You think that's the front? That's what I want.
front, but to be honest with you, I really don't
Ask
know.
her.
I just kind of basically don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the models that go with that. That's one of the beds. Yeah. Well, I have to look at the.
No. Like, what's the front of it?
But it's called the north side and the south side. I know,
Which one's yours?
well, I have to Google it. You gotta Google.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, this is, maybe I can bring, I'm gonna move the microphone so I can. Okay, so the next, the one thing I did put around was the very tall man model, and it has like a small bed and a big bed, because in the book, the guy has a small and a big bed. I'm now passing around the logo for Accessible Expressions Ohio, or Art Possible Ohio, where it has different shades of red, and it has Braille, and it has the capitalized passage indicators, capital dots with UEB.
Can you read enough to get by. To be honest, I don't use it.
Now we have USA Map Topography.
I understand that enough if I need to use it.
Oh, okay.
That's how I feel. That's my personal opinion is that someone should know it enough if they're in any situation.
So I have a tactile map of the CNI Guide Dog Center, and I would say the Braille is a little funky on here, the dots. So like I'm aware that it looks a little funky. And it has raised buildings, and then the lower part, the next highest level are parking lots and the sidewalks.
I've been there quite a bit, so you can pass that to people that may not have seen it before.
Okay.
I pretty well understand.
And it's on a stand right now. You can get an idea of what can be out there.
He's my third guide from there, so I've been there.
Did you know Lucas there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lucas.
Oh, yeah, I know Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
He's nice. Lucas came to our O&M and did a date with us.
Yeah. He retired.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's still doing like some volunteer stuff,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, he retired this past year. He's still wild as ever.
Yeah, I saw him at the ADR conference.
He's a trip.
Oh my God.
He always told me, so he was kind of more in his prime when my big brother was younger. Every time he sees me,
CNI coming your way.
And it's a bar graph where you can switch the columns and the bars go up and down, be different values.
I'm passing a bunch of other stuff down. No, so he always calls me my older brother. So I have to remind him who I am.
Oh my God, the USA flag.
Sorry, I'm not-
So I also have a USA flag and an adjustable bar graph model where the columns for the bars, they have notches that you can twist and make it at different heights. So that way it's reusable. Kids can show what they want to show and the teachers can quickly modify it to what a print picture would be. And I also have a snowflake. So I have the iPhone model with the different screens. I have a dial pad screen with raised print or braille, a home screen with apps, as well as a screen that says voicemail.